Hello, today is March 28th. It's pretty cold out. I am at the highest point in Montgomery County, which is called, it's at the Mill Hill Preservation Area, or Mill Hill Preserve. I'm going to flip you around so you can see. So this is the parking area. I've been here before. I don't think the elevation's that high, but it's the highest point in Montgomery County. So mostly if I run into people here, it's people walking their dogs. Anyways, past this gate is the red trail. This way is the orange trail. You can do it like a big loop. The creek is that direction. We're gonna go this way and swing a sharp right. As soon as we get down here, a sharp right will keep you on the red trail. We'll take you to the high point. I'm gonna show you there's like a cool little cave up top, and I'll show you when we get to the high point and whatever else we see on the way. Okay, I just got here and already I'm seeing one of our first native flowers that come out in the spring. These are called bloodroot. Right now they're closed. They're called bloodroot because when you break these off, like a reddish substance comes out. But that's the bloodroot right there. Anyways, we're gonna go around this gate, keep following this trail. Okay, so I have not been walking very far already, just to the right. You'll see that continues the orange trail. This will start the red up this very steep hill. Up here it doesn't look that steep, but oh my goodness, it gets steep, so get ready. So that's looking down. The steepest part is over. I wanted to point this out. So this area used to be quarried. All these giant boulders that you're gonna see around here are called diabase. There's a huge vein of diabase that runs up and down the east coast on the... Anyways, you can see where they drilled into the stone to quarry. You can see right through there. And we'll see more of that along the trail. And I will show more evidence of quarrying here. Somewhere that... So there's railroad tracks not far from here. I read that a long time ago they quarried the diabase here for like street cobble and stuff for the streets of Philly. So yeah. And here is the first of some of the really big boulders. I don't know how big it looks in this video, but it's pretty dang big. Sadly, people, graffiti crap. So in my last video, I pointed out a shaggy hickory. This is, I don't know what you call a smooth bark hickory, but this is not the shaggy. This is just a regular hickory. Anyways, I love how all these boulders are covered in moss. This one, I believe, also has evidence of quarrying somewhere. Okay, so I have climbed up top. Right here you can see the drill holes that they did to break this off of the main stone. As well as here, you can see. And then up top, right there you can see the lines. Zoom in a little farther. Right there. Across the whole thing, and then right there you can see one of the lines. So a lot of eastern Pennsylvania is made of this very grainy stone. Like I said, it's diabase. I don't know if it was used for anything other than like stone cobble and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of big boulders like this. A lot of cool evidence of quarrying. Immediately to the right you can see it's a pretty big drop down. That was all quarried out. We're going to continue the trail. It's going to follow this ridge line up to the high point. Here's another quarrying spot. You can see where they cut into the... right here. I swear it's bigger than it looks in the video. Here's more drill holes, and then a lot of broken off pieces. So the trail continues this way. As you can see, there's a bunch of boulders here. And if you go off the trail to the left, to follow these boulders and keep following them. Keep following. You're gonna have a really good view up here, and then right there we have a tiny little cave. You can tell people have had fires in here. It's got a really nice view up here. And when we get back on the trail up that way, it's gonna get taller and taller, or higher and higher. So I just stopped. This time of year at the end of March, you're going to be walking by and you're going to hear loud noises. If you look to the right, there are fishing cranes, local fishing cranes that nest in these trees here. You see all these nests. There's probably like 15, 20 nests. You can see one of the birds moving right there. We move over, there should be more. See one up in the tree. I lied, there's probably about 30 nests. And they just do their thing up here. I don't know when they have the babies, but there's a lot of them. This one's gonna land. If you brought binoculars from down here, you would have such an amazing view of this, but there are just fishing cranes. I don't know what kind they are. You see them all flying in the distance, all those little, they look like small birds, are fishing cranes, and they're gonna land in all these nests. We get to a point where it opens up quite a bit to a field, and you'll see the power lines. When you get to the power lines, you're almost to the top. There's our view in the distance. This is looking towards, I think, Zionsville, Pennsylvania. And on the other side is East Greenville. And we're gonna head back into the woods. So we have reached the highest point. There used to be a sign right here with this, where this was. That's actually the highest point. They moved the sign to right here. Congratulations, you have reached the highest point in Montgomery County at 750. That's actually higher than I thought, above sea level. And this is owned by the Upper Hanover. When you get to here, it does dead end. And it's really hard to find the loop trail that brings you back. So I think we do keep going past, and then there's going to be a sharp left somewhere up here that will take you in a loop so that you don't have to backtrack. Because it is really fun to do it in a loop. Now, if you do it in a loop, go very slow on the way down the hill because it is very steep. We've gone slightly past the high point, and it looks like the trail is easier to navigate than it used to be. It's just going to swing to the left and start taking us down the hill so we don't have to backtrack. As you're going down this trail, it's very steep, very rocky. I wouldn't suggest bringing little kids, but you're going to see this big flat boulder here. If you veer off the trail a little bit, there's a little cave in between two boulders here, and we're going to check that out really quick. Okay, so it is the tiniest cave ever, but right here you can see big enough for maybe one person. You could totally sleep in here. I always wondered if natives ever camped in here while hunting. Yeah. Here's in front of that flat rock. Somebody's been digging here. I could see having like natives maybe camped out here overnight or something as like a little kind of sheltery area. But yeah, this is just off the trail. To get back on the trail, you're just gonna go back to the right. So I just stumbled across the saddest thing ever. This is definitely a baby red fox. Right there, there's his tail, little nose. I don't know what happened. That's so sad, but that's definitely a red fox. Very sad, but when you're in the woods, you see sad stuff sometimes. You can see his teeth right there. So sad. To the end of this part of the red trail here, you're gonna see the opening where the, what is it called, the power line is. And to get back to the car, you're gonna swing a left and walk through this meadow, which is always muddy, so keep that in mind. Wear boots. You can go to the right and there's a short trail that's blue or that way, but if you want to go back to your car, make a left, walk through this field. It'll take you, it's pretty short, it's flat. It'll take you to your car. And thanks for coming with me.